They say the top 1% know a trick that makes them unstoppable. And it's not motivation. This one mindset shift can turn the laziest person into a relentless achiever. Want in? Stick around, and you'll never quit on your goals again. Subscribe if you're ready for change. Motivation is a liar. Let's start with something familiar. Two friends, Adam and John, made the same promise every new year. This year would be different. They had big dreams: get in shape, save money, maybe even start something of their own. Adam was always the more enthusiastic one. The moment January hit, he bought new gear, organized his schedule, watched motivational videos on repeat, and filled his room with colorful goal charts and quotes. The first few days, he was unstoppable. Up before sunrise, clean eating, crushing workouts, full focus. But by week 2, the energy started to fade. One skipped workout turned into 2. The healthy meals got replaced with convenience. And the quote-covered walls, they became background noise. "I'm just not in the mood today," he'd tell himself. "I'll start fresh next week." John, on the other hand, was quieter about his goals. He didn't make a show of it. No hype, no countdowns, no fancy plans. Most days, he didn't even feel like it. But he did it anyway. Whether it was a 10-minute walk or preparing meals ahead of time, John just kept showing up. Fast forward a few months, Adam was back at square one, still planning. John, he'd made real progress. Not because he was more motivated, but because he realized something powerful. Motivation can't be trusted. It's like a wind, you can't build your life around it. The identity shift, who you decide to be. So here's the big question. If motivation doesn't last, what does? The answer lies in a shift, not in what you do, but in how you think. Instead of making decisions based on how you feel in the moment, start acting based on who you choose to become. Let's say you're about to skip your workout. Instead of asking, "Do I feel like exercising?" which we both know the answer to, ask, "What would the disciplined version of me do right now?" That shift might seem small, but it's everything. When you act based on identity, on the version of you that you're building, your feelings take a back seat. Your future takes the wheel. The disciplined version of you doesn't scroll endlessly, doesn't delay progress, and doesn't wait for the mood to strike. That version shows up, rain or shine, tired or not. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about practicing being the version of you that you actually want to become, until it becomes real. Because real change, it doesn't start with grand gestures. It starts with one decision to choose who you're becoming over how you're feeling. The 5-second trigger. Now let's bring in something practical. There's a simple tool called the 5-second rule, and it might just change everything for you. Here's how it works. The moment you feel resistance, hesitation, or the urge to delay, count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then move. That's it. Sounds almost too simple, right? But this tiny countdown snaps your brain out of the excuse loop. Imagine you're lying in bed, alarm ringing. Your brain whispers, "Just 5 more minutes." That's the critical moment. Before your thoughts spiral, you count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and swing your legs over. You're up. Why does it work? Because your brain is wired to protect you from discomfort. And when you pause, it buys time to talk you out of effort. The countdown cuts through that. It's a short circuit, a trigger. You're not giving yourself a chance to overthink. You're acting before your feelings catch up. Try it next time you're avoiding a task. Just count and move. The more you use it, the more automatic it becomes. Pain versus pleasure. Rewiring the brain. Here's something to understand about yourself. You are wired to avoid discomfort and chase what feels good. That's human nature. But in today's world, that wiring often works against us. Think about it. It feels good to scroll social media. It feels easier to eat whatever's quick. And sleeping in is way more comfortable than getting up early to push yourself. But what feels good now often comes at a cost later. That extra hour of sleep might feel amazing in the moment, but it might cost you progress, confidence, and a sense of control. So how do we fight this? We flip the equation. Every time you're about to choose comfort, pause and ask, what's the hidden cost of this easy path? And every time you choose a challenge, ask, what's the long-term reward of this discomfort? This isn't just about willpower, it's about seeing things clearly, rewiring how your brain defines pain and pleasure. Because once you link temporary comfort with lasting regret and discomfort with lasting growth, everything changes. The power of micro wins. Let's get real. Sometimes the goal feels massive, like standing at the bottom of a mountain looking up. That's where most people freeze. But here's the truth. You don't need to climb the whole mountain today. You just need to take one step. A writer doesn't need to finish a novel today. They just need to write one paragraph. Someone trying to get fit? Start with one push-up. Trying to learn something new? Just study for 10 minutes. These are called micro wins, and they're powerful. Why? Because action creates momentum. And once you're in motion, you're way more likely to keep going. You don't wait for motivation. You create it by doing something, anything. The secret is to lower the entry bar. Make it so small you can't say no. And once you've started, that little win builds confidence. That confidence builds another win. And those wins start to stack. Before you know it, you're moving, progressing, becoming the kind of person who follows through. Be your coach, not your critic. Let's face it, there will be off days, days you miss the mark, days when you slip. And in those moments, most people do one thing: beat themselves up. I knew I couldn't stick to it. Why do I always mess this up? That kind of self-talk doesn't help. It kills momentum. So here's what to do instead. Talk to yourself like a coach, not a critic. Think about how you'd respond to a friend who fell short. You wouldn't shame them. You'd encourage them. You'd say, hey, it's just one day. You're still capable. Let's get back to it. Now say that to yourself every time you mess up. This isn't about being soft. It's about being smart. Encouragement fuels effort. Shame shuts it down. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. And consistency doesn't require flawless effort. It requires bouncing back. The future you, a life you'll be proud of. Let's take a moment and picture something most people avoid thinking about. Not in a dramatic way, but in a real, honest way. Imagine yourself far into the future. You're older, wiser, life has slowed down. You've got a quiet moment to reflect. You're looking back, not just at what you did, but at what you could have done. What kind of story will you remember? Will it be a story of almost and what ifs? Will it be filled with half-finished goals and forgotten dreams? Or will it be a story of grit, growth, and follow-through? Here's the truth. Most people don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they never fully committed. They let small distractions become permanent detours. They let temporary feelings decide the future they could have built. Now imagine the opposite. You didn't wait for the perfect moment. You created it. You didn't let laziness win. You stood up when it counted. You didn't feel like doing it, but you did it anyway. Day after day, even when no one noticed, even when no one clapped. You kept showing up. And now your future self is sitting there with peace in your heart. You know you gave it everything. You know you honored your goals. You became the kind of person you used to admire. That's a life worth living. And it's built one hard decision at a time. No one's saying it's going to be easy. The truth is, there will always be easier paths. There will always be a reason to postpone, a reason to settle. But comfort now leads to discomfort later, and discipline now leads to freedom later. Every day you're adding to your story. Even the small moments count. That skipped workout, that 1 hour wasted scrolling, they might seem harmless, but they add up. So do the wins. That one page was written, that 5-minute walk. That small promise was kept. You're training for your future, shaping your character, whether you mean to or not. So ask yourself honestly, what would the future version of me thank me for doing today? What decisions would they hope I made? What habits would they want me to start or stop? Because one day you won't care about how long your to-do list was. You'll care about whether you chased the things that mattered, whether you built something, whether you became someone you could be proud of. And the best part? That story hasn't been fully written yet. You're still in it. You still get to decide how it ends. You still have time. Time to rewrite old patterns. Time to replace guilt with action. Time to choose effort over excuses. Time to move forward, even if it's just a little, every single day. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the mood. Don't wait for motivation to strike again. The moment is right now. The only thing standing between you and the future you want is the version of you that refuses to wait. Make the hard choice today, and your future self will never stop thanking you. So remember this, you don't need another motivational quote. You don't need more hype. You need to move, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Because that small moment where you choose effort over ease, that's where the change happens. That's where discipline is born. So if you're ready to build that version of yourself, one action at a time, subscribe now. And don't miss the next video where we'll break down one daily habit used by high achievers to get back on track instantly, even after a setback. You've got this. Now go prove it.